Now, the plight of refugees living in cramped conditions in camps around the world is attracting fresh attention as they are now threatened by coronavirus. People in the camps, like those living in poorer parts of the world, already face huge challenges. Their story has been inspiring, and it's encouraged a Sikh living in these British islands to give up his well-paid job as an engineer to try and help. Nav Sawhney has designed a washing machine for places where water is scarce and women can only spend large parts of their day washing their clothes by hand. And I'm pleased to say he joins us in the Channel Islands this morning. Navjot, what touched you so deeply that you were ready to give up your job and to change the direction of your life to do this?
Good morning, Matthew. How are you?
I'm very well. It's really nice to have you with us.
Yeah, thank you. I studied engineering as an undergrad, and I was lucky enough to land a really well-paid job in a graduate program in one of the best companies in the country. And about 3 years into my scheme, I was kind of disgruntled almost. I really wanted to, I wanted my engineering to do better, to help more people, to make it really, really matter. And so I decided to take a sabbatical and actually moved to South India to make clean and efficient cook stoves. And when I was there, I became friends with a really nice neighbor called Divya. And Divya's plights are really simple, things that I take for granted every day. She doesn't have access to an electric washing machine, so hands wash her clothes and her family's clothes, causing back pain, joint pain, and skin irritation. And so at that point, when I promised her a manual washing machine, her eyes lit up. And in 2018, I started the social enterprise, the Washing Machine Project. We make manual washing machines that save time, water, and effort for people like Divya around the world. And Divya is not alone. 70% of the world, over 5 billion people, live like this today.
So how does this machine work in those conditions? And it must be liberating for the women who ordinarily would have spent much of their day washing clothes by hand.
Yeah, so we conduct really extensive research. We've been to 6 countries and interviewed over 500 families. And we know that the burden of hand washing clothes is disproportionately placed on women, unfortunately, around the world. And that with coronavirus is only going to be more exasperated. We've seen that already. And so we know that there's larger families, so it has to be a large drum capacity. For example, our research in Iraq has found that the average size of a family in a camp is 9, and half of that family will be under the age of 5, so lots of clothes washing every day. And so large drum capacity and low water consumption. So we found that you use more than 40 litres of water for hand washing, and we've halved that. And then the other thing that we've found is that someone like Divya would spend more than 20 hours a week. Can you imagine 20 hours a week on this activity? And so we're reducing that by 3/4.
And what does your faith do to this? I mean, how does that impact upon the project that you're working on?
Yeah, it's impacted quite significantly, actually. As a Sikh, we believe in seva, which is selfless service. And we've seen that a lot around the country and around the world during the pandemic. People have been very generous in their time, their money and their love when helping people. And that's really at the forefront of what we do, helping people like Divya with the problems that they're suffering from.
And what do you hope to achieve longer term?
We would like our manual washing machines to be there, to be used as an alternative to hand washing clothes in every country in the world. We have really big plans. And why stop at manual washing machines? I mean, off-the-grid refrigeration is one of another big problem. So, I'm lucky enough to be skilled to come up with solutions to these problems, and I want to do that for the foreseeable future.
And what are the costs? I mean, who's adopting it? Is it being supported?
Yeah, we've been lucky enough to be partnered up with some of the major household charities. So Oxfam and the United Nations have backed us. And we rely a lot on individual donors to keep us afloat. It's a voluntary-led organization. And our washing machines are priced at £35. And that was on the back of some research that we did on the buying power of women living in poverty around the world. Anything more than £35, then she has to ask for permission from the breadwinner, which is most likely to be a man, and the man will say no because it's a problem that doesn't affect him. So we need to keep the prices very low.
Navjot, it's been fascinating talking with you. Thank you so much for joining us this morning here in the Channel Islands. And that's Navjot Sawhney, who, as we heard there, is a Sikh. He's designed a washing machine for places where water is scarce and women can spend large parts of their day washing clothes by hand. And it is liberating not only them from that arduous task, but also from, I suppose, the constraints of having to ask others, the breadwinners in their communities, for permission to purchase the item, as we heard there. So it's good news on so many counts. It not only empowers women, but also enables them to spend their days more fruitfully employed rather than just washing clothes.